So I'm sitting here with Duke Lawhart, who has lived in the Berkshires for his whole entire life. And he's also my grandfather. So Pop, you've grown up in Lenox for your whole entire life. Did you ever watch any baseball games in West Stockbridge?
Yes, I was fortunate enough to go to see Troy's Garage play, and they played two major league teams. One was the Boston Bees, and the other was the Philadelphia A's. And I was a bat boy for one of those teams, for the Bees or the A's, the day they played. I forget which one it was, but it was great baseball, and Philadelphia beat Troy's Garage, but it was a very interesting game. I was with my best friend, Tommy Bly, and got to know some of the ball players on Troy's. One was Zit Romeo, who played right field. He was a great ball player. He was from Lenox. And Ned Forrest was from Pittsfield, and he was a good left-handed batter. And there was Moriarty that came from Holy Cross. He played. And it was a great game, and it's a great, Troy's were great, West Stockbridge was great for making fields. They'd have one field one year, and those guys, those little Italians, next year they'd have another one. And then they'd have another one. But it was always great to go to West Stockbridge and watch the games.
Now, which field did you see the Boston Bees and the Philadelphia A's?
I believe it was right across from, or very close across from the cemetery.
Now, was that the Keresey field?
I believe they called it the Keresey field. Joe Keresey owned a farm on the road to State Line. We all knew how to get to State Line. But Joe owned so much land it went down near the cemetery. So I believe they probably named it the Keresey field. And as I say, it wasn't used over 3 or 4 years before they built another one. But
now, did you know Joe Keresey?
Oh, I knew Joe Keresey. My father was a great friend of him. We did his electrical work. He had a big farm up in the State Line Road. Yeah, Mr. Keresey was a good old guy. A lot of cows. I never milked one, but good.
Now, did you know Mr. Troy, who ran Troy's Garage?
Well, I never met Garrett or Mr. Troy, but he was a great publicity man. He wasn't cheap. He paid the ball players that he hired to beat these teams, and sometimes $50 a game, and that was a lot in those days. But he was a real fine gentleman, except when he kept hollering, "Whore, whore, whore, whore," when anybody made a great catch or a great play. So that's about it with Garrett. He owned a big Ford garage, and he spent his money, and he got some big crowds for those 2 or 3 years, very big. And there might have been 2,000 or 3,000 people there. And then he played Lenox, and there might be 75 there. But
so he would yell, "Whore,
whore, whore." We don't know what that was all about, or I don't, but whore, whore. And if anybody that seen those games, they'd remember that distinctly.
So now the Philadelphia A's came and played. In 1935, they played at Keresey Field, and the manager at that time was Connie Mack. Now, from what I understand, you were signed and drafted by the Philadelphia A's, and did you ever have any interaction with Connie Mack?
When I went to spring training, which I lasted about long enough to have coffee and tea, and I did meet him. When they were sending me home, I think he was giving me the farewell. But he was a great gentleman. He when he managed Philadelphia, he was always in a suit, top hat, tie. Very, very well respected. Great gentleman.
So with Keresey Field, was that a big attraction for a lot of people, and was it really well known throughout the county?
Well, I wouldn't say so. I don't think it lasted long enough. I really don't. I mean, it was a major league team came, and which the two of them did. It drew a lot of crowd, a big crowd. But when they played Sons of Italy or Lenox or Great Barrington, it would be 200 or 300 people, and that's it. So I don't think the field was nationally known, no.
Now you went back to the same spot where Keresey Field was, and today it's now only a cornfield.
It's a cornfield now. Bobby and his brother John and his father Kevin and I took a walk around, and we think we know about where the backstop was, which way the field focused. There was benches on each side for the players, some stands, but not a lot. Not a big parking area, but a fairly good one.
So, do you think this is definitely it?
I do.
Yeah. And so where would the backstop be?
The backstop would be, see the stick over there?
Yeah.
Not that far back, probably.
But in that direction?
But that's, yes. And then it went from there over to first, to second, to third, and then home. And so this would be right field out here. Right center. Yeah, right. Okay, there was bleachers over there, and that was the visiting team, I think. Then there was bleachers over here, which was Troy's garage. And then the home plate, Kevin, was right that way. And then I'd say the mound was someplace here. And then second, first, third, short, left field, right field, center field. The only thing I'd love to see, I think this might be part of the bench or the bleachers. I don't think there was bleachers over there. I think this was probably their bench on the third base side.
Now, Pop, when you visited the field today, what made you realize that that was Keresey Field at one point?
Well, because of the terrain, it was a dip from the road down, and it was the only opening